everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
When you start practicing, or wherever you are in your practice, you will always start at a place where you think there's a separation between you and the divine, when in fact there is no separation. You are in fact the divine. You are the goddess, you are the God, you are the consciousness of God. God needs you as much as you need God. It all works in synchronicity. However, if you wish to take a path on discovering the divine feminine and the divine masculine and putting them together, two always become one, and when the one connects, you go out into the ethers, you might say. You start to discover who you are in this lifetime again. That's really how it works. But there's not one path, there's only your path. You decide on the path that you want to take. No one can tell you. There's no guru, there's no teacher, there's no rabbi, there's no priest that can tell you which is your path. You have to decide that for yourself. And then your soul comes through, the higher self comes through, it connects to everything. That's how it works for me, that's how it works for Renee.
So I think what's interesting to just make note of this, how many are old enough to know of Jean Houston's work and also The Hero's Journey, Joseph Campbell? So some of us might have been introduced to the goddess or the divine feminine through archetypes, right? Through that landscape. And I think it's a beautiful landscape to look through because for whatever reason, when we identify with an energy, like a particular goddess, right? I mean, a lot of people in our group who find us identify with the Isis energy, the goddess Isis energy, because Mary Magdalene used to work with that energy. And so, as our guides will often say, is that whatever helps you connect to the energy to get that balance, go there. That's a really great place to start. So if you want to start with a particular goddess, if that is what you resonate with, some people resonate with Mother Mary, some people resonate. So this is a really great place to start because it's almost like you're pulling a thread through a past life or a past experience, if you like, and you're bringing it into this field and it's waking up. That's a really good way to think of it because the multidimensional soul, our guides love to use the analogy of the head of hair, that the head, the entire head, is the multidimensional soul. And each thread, right, each particular thread is an aspect of the soul. So you could look at it as a past life, right? There's a lot of Akashic record readers here. So, you know, that's how we think. We think in linear terms and polarity. We think of past lives. But in truth, there is no past life. They're just experiences. So think of each thread of hair as an experience. And so when you're pulling through that thread by connecting to Isis or Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene or the Shekinah, if you know, were raised in a Jewish home, or you know, whatever that is for you, you're bringing in that divine feminine face of God, which exists in all of us. It's a useful thread to think about because when you're connecting to the divine, you know, as Magdalene will say, she's the Sophia, she's the feminine face of God.
What I want you to know is this. When it comes down to channeling, psychic work, anything spiritual, in the end, the guides, whoever they are for you, is really you. It's your higher self. It is your soul, your higher self, that is connecting with everything. That's what it comes down to.
And your guides are helping you get there. Your guides are helping you connect to the all that is, which includes your higher self.
Who's doing the healing? Well, it's really you. You're doing the healing in conjunction with the universe, with God, with everything. That's really what it is. When Yeshua comes through me, it's me. It's Yeshua. When Miriam comes through me, it's Miriam. It's me. When our guides come through, they refer to themselves as Perushim or Pharisees.
Or the Ascended Masters.
We refer to them as Ascended Masters. It's part of who I am. It's a part of my energy. And when all of you are doing your healing work, it's you. You're doing it. You don't step aside, you become part of it. You're not just a vessel, you are the energy.
So we used to think when the guides connected to us that we were separate. And in the beginning, Anthony would say, oh, I'm kind of up here and I'm looking down upon, right? You know, because that's how we sort of think about the process of what it works. And then one day, in fact, this line is in our book that's coming out in 2 months on Mary Magdalene's life. There's one point where Anthony's explaining there's a distinction that he felt. And he said, you know, this is what it is. He's like, it's like a Christmas tree, and the Christmas tree is all lit up. And, you know, all of these lights are different aspects of me, or aspects of God, G-O-D-D-E, or aspects of all that is. And then when the guides leave, it's like they're dimming the lights on the tree and they're making the bright of Anthony brighter once again. So that was a differential, right, of how this process works. And now, you know, where we're now at the process, it's more like there's a merging. So it's really a merging of all that is, and Anthony's in there as part of the all that is with his higher self.
That's what it is. You can use, I see a lot of different crystals. You can use crystals, you can use stones, you can use great glasses, you can use great clothes, you can use whatever you want to get there. But in truth, you don't need any of it. It's already here. It's within you. That is the real message. That is the divine feminine. That is the divine masculine. It is you. But it's fun to go into ceremony, and it's fun to use these things because it helps you to get to where you need to be.
It helps
to be
you
one again.
Become the one again.
So I'm using this right now because I like the way it looks, but it's also keeping me warm.
And also Magdalene, when she comes through, she absolutely loves coming through a man, because what's interesting is that a lot of people will say, well, why is the divine feminine of Mary Magdalene coming through Anthony? Well, first of all, he's the full embodied channel. I channel in a different way. So that's the first thing. But second, it's to demonstrate to the world that the divine feminine, the Shekinah, the Sophia, can come through a man and that the man accepts it. I really feel that that is a big part of the message, so men are not afraid of embracing that divine feminine, to say, you know what, there really is no difference. There's a blending and it's one.
She's very feminine, but she's very strong.
Yeah.
She is I would say, the strongest coach I have ever had before in my life. She pushes me she'll push everybody beyond your limit. She will literally break you down and then pick you back up in pieces and put you back together. That's how she is. She was the force behind Yeshua. She was the woman behind the great man. Now this being will manifest itself through me. It comes through her first, through the woman.
And I'm the grounding cord, so you'll hear them refer to me as Gaia.
Yes.
Because I'm the grounding cord that's kind of locking the energy in. So Anthony, as our friends like to say, so Anthony doesn't float away. Into
That's
the
true.
ethers. Yeah, there's a little bit of that.
When you do energy work, remember this, all of you, healers, practitioners. Take the energies that you need, put them into your toolbox, okay? And then use them. Whatever you don't need, get rid of them.
But it's an interesting message to bring up at New Living Expo, because here we're being exposed to millions of different tools, right? And ways to get there. Some of you are getting Akashic record readings. Some of you are getting psychic readings. These are all tools, crystals, jewelry, all of it carries energy.
Music. Voice.
Oh, music, right?
Carries it, doesn't it?
I know, most beautiful voice on the planet right here, Carolina. Right? Crystal bowls, right? You know, our friend Jessie plays crystal bowls, and I'm sure others of you in here do the same. These are frequencies, and they're tools in our toolbox to help us get there. So I think, you know, it's a valuable thing to bring up, because some of it may not serve us. And when we're practicing with these energies, it's up to us to really sit and be with our higher self, not some guru or what someone's told you that you need, but sitting with yourself and knowing inherently intuitively what you need and discarding the rest, right, as a way to get there.
Really, that's all that's what it's about. Just sitting with yourself sometimes, letting the energy come into you, understanding it, work with one energy. Once you know the energy, invite something else in. I always say, be careful what you ask for, because when it comes, it's not going to leave. You open the door, it sticks its foot in, and it doesn't leave.
Yeah, because ultimately at the end of the day, and the two channelers in the back know this, right? That a lot of times we think that when we're channeling and we're bringing these energies in, that we're opening a portal. But the truth is, we are the portal. So when you think of it from that perspective of we are the portal, when you're opening that door, guess what? It's saying you're open for business. I hate to use the analogy that the oldest witch in America used with Anthony when he first opened. He did like that. But, you know, she described it as when we first open, it's like a hotel that's open for business and they put vacancy, and you're walking down and you're the open portable, and everything is trying to connect with you. And that's when you have to really have that discernment.
Ground into Gaia, ground into the divine feminine.
Right.
That's what you need to do also. That's where the divine feminine comes in. It's in the earth. It's in Gaia. It's in the feminine. You ground into her.
And it doesn't matter.
And then you go into the ethers.
It doesn't matter what your tradition is either, right? So indigenous, Father Sky, Mother Earth, right? So you're needing to balance both so that you don't go off in the ethers. Because a lot of times what happens when you're starting to open and play with these different energies and work with these energies, you might actually think that you are them. Like we talked about this at the booth earlier, right? That I was Jesus's brother, or, you know, you might actually feel that. And it's too long of a segue to go into that, how the multidimensional soul works. But if you're feeling that, chances are that an aspect of your soul was in their auric field at one time, right? Or simultaneously in real time, even though time doesn't exist. But so that's what's happening. So then you need to ground, get back into Gaia. So that aspect was allowing your higher self to bring that memory in. You're being awakened to that memory. And then you need to go back and ground into Gaia.
But I want to let you all know that when you're doing this work as well, as a healthcare provider, good mental health is important. When you're doing a spiritual path, good mental health. I can't stress that more than enough, because it will take you into places you may not want to go. And then when it takes you there, you have to be grounded well enough, good mental health, maybe a good psychologist. That's always good too.
There's many of them here.
Always talk to somebody about this. Always talk to somebody. Talk to a professional, someone that can help you get through it, because it's a big journey.
But talk to someone who's open spiritually.
Spiritually as well.
Otherwise you might end up in a mental asylum, right?
Because we've seen some people end up in places that they don't want to go. All right.
Yeah.
You may believe that you are Jesus. You're not Jesus. You may believe you are Miriam of Magdal. You're not Miriam. You're not the mother. You're not the disciples. They're all dead and gone. Do you understand that? But the soul exists.
Yeah.
The souls still exist, and they will manifest themselves through you if you allow it.
Yeah, I was just going to say with permission.
With
so
permission.
A big part of it is intention. You have to have the intention and call them in, or they will not come in.
You are always in control. Nothing can control you. Nothing. You are in control. What you want to come in, let it come. What you want to leave, tell it to get out. I don't want you in my auric field. Hit the road.
And that,
Vai via. You're saying Italian. Vai via.
And that doesn't just mean spirits, right? This means, should I say?
Any energy.
Yeah, any energy.
Yeah.
This means your mother-in-law occasionally. I mean, no, really. I mean, it's just, you know, we laugh about it, but these energies show up to teach us, actually, to teach us. They're there to make us stronger, right? Sometimes what we see is a past, and our path is actually there as a coach and a teacher.
This is the hard part about being on a journey. Can you see everything of love? And I mean everything.
This is back to the
Can you
balance
see
of the masculine
the
and feminine.
good in
Yeah.
all things, the love in all things? Because that is the energy of who you are. You are love. You are light. You are God. You are goddess.
That's
You are
the
truly.
oneness. This is
That
the
is the oneness.
Yeah, this is the oneness. So this is getting back to the masculine and the feminine balance.
The two will always become one. And when the one becomes, that's when you expand into universal consciousness. Remember, you are here like
Yeah.
this. Once you connect,
Well, think about it more
It
vertically,
expands.
like our body, right? This is the Kundalini awakening when, people are shaking. It's the energy trying to get out of this thin, narrow vessel. So that's what happens when you see the shaking. So one of the things you're going to notice too, since this is supposed to be a talk about divine feminine and masculine, you're going to notice that the Yeshua energy is more feminine. It's more surrendering into. At least that's how it feels to us. And, when we work with the Yeshua energy, it's all about healing. When we work with the Magdalene energy, it's Joan of Arc on steroids. It's about empowering women, speak your truth, get out there, speak your truth, and do what you need to do. Step into your power. So they're very different energies, I know some of you are familiar with the channeling, but for the newbies. Just adjusting to the frequency of this vibration and all the energy or the frequencies that you all make up in this room. Because we're all frequencies, that's what we are. We're a spectrum of frequencies, and they're just adjusting to that.
love. 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 Love one another. And don't be afraid. Love one another. And be kind. I am good. This is better.
Better connection?
Yes.
Okay.
I am who I am.
There's a lot of frequencies in this room.
I am Yeshua ben Maria of Maria. Miriam. Miriam. My other half. My better half. My stronger half. My feminine half. She was, and she still is. We work together, always. I know you. There are certain frequencies that I can recognize. I know him as well. I know him very well. I know her. There are frequencies that I see within all of you that I recognize. Do not heal through me, heal through you. Now, this is your consciousness. This is the new consciousness. You don't need me. I am only here to assist you, but heal through you,
We
through
all
your
carry
soul.
it. We all carry this Christ consciousness energy, right? It's just your gift over 2,000 years ago happened to be great at matching the frequencies, and that's what allowed you to do that.
Peace be with you all. Gratitude be with you all. Love be with you all. Graciousness be with you all. Kindness be with you all. Share these qualities of being a human being with others. That is how you heal the world.
And that's how you balance the divine feminine and the masculine.
I am who I am. I will be what I will be. I will become that which I will become through all of you. It is time for me to step back now. Miriam of Magdala comes. Miriam, she comes. You see, there is a recognition here. A recognition, isn't there? A woman recognition there is. For all women, I am here. Again, manifesting myself through Anthony. He doesn't like it sometimes, but I'm here. And I'm going to keep coming no matter what. I will keep coming and coming and coming until this energy of the divine feminine is balanced. And then I want more. I want it to go higher. Higher than that of the masculine. And then the masculine will catch up again. But the divine feminine will always rise. You cannot stop it now. Ladies, we are on a roll. And let's keep it going. Okay? I am, I was, and I shall always be devoted, married, if you will, to Yeshua. He wasn't single. He was my love. I was his rock. I was the power behind him. I helped him get through all of the trials and tribulations, but we did it together as feminine and masculine. I ask all of you, even the men, to find the divine feminine in you so that you may balance yourselves as well. Be strong. Be strong.
I think it's worth bringing up something that I find fascinating. When Anthony first started bringing through this energy, it was terrifying for him. And why is Magdalene coming through him as a man and making him feel feminine? Can you imagine having an energy come through and making you feel feminine? It was terrifying for him. And
what do I say to that?
well, I think it's an important message. I think it's important for men to understand that in the context of balancing, the allowing that merging to happen.
Are you going to allow me to come into you?
Yes.
Good. Then let's do it. I see you.
Beautiful.
I acknowledge you. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your soul at this time.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Shalom too.
And you,
That's pretty new for us, too.
young man, I see you too. Thank you. You give me the permission to be in you, that is, to be a part of your soul, so I decide to do it. That is why you're here, so that the divine feminine can come into you.
Yes.
Good. And I know you. It is good to see you again. I recognize you. I recognize your soul stream, that is. Without the divine feminine here, I cannot do this. I will always come through the divine feminine first and then into the masculine. That's how I work. Is anybody coming after you with an axe? No. Is anybody telling you that you can or you cannot live the way you wish to? No.
Or practice your belief system the way you want to believe.
Can you move freely if you want? Pretty much,
in
yes.
this country?
The connectivity now between your world has grown exponentially. You can connect with anything you want at any moment. Just look at your phone and you're there. The consciousness of this planet is rising, as you will say. That is what you say. It's rising, it's ascending, and it is. You're able to connect much easier now than ever before because you don't have the fear. Let go of the fear.
I mean,
it doesn't serve you.
Looking at how the Afghan women have responded to, right, the chain of events that wouldn't have happened 20, 30 years ago, right? And so as a collective, right, we're not also globally going to allow that to continue to happen. And those of you old enough, I only read this recently, I couldn't believe it. I put a halt on our book and read this book 3 times, When God Was a Woman. You ever read it? Those of you old, it came out in the 70s. How did I make it to my 50s and not read this book? So what she does, Merlin Stone is the author. It's old now, it came out in the 70s, but she chronologically curates the content of how that changed each step along the way, from Babylonia to, you know, ancient Judea and all the way through Europe, and, you know, not focusing too much on Asia, actually, mostly the Western world, and how it converted, right, everything from our goddess religion into the monotheistic God, right, that we all had to fear. So it just happened over a chain of events where, you know, where things start to become normal and then you accept them as the gospel. And that's what we did. And then the gospels were rewritten and rewritten and rewritten by the patriarchal powers that wanted to be in control at the time. But, you know, it's shifting now, it's shifting. And so we went through that for a reason, right? And I feel all of that is kind of emerging now to be healed. So when the stuff comes up for us, even when, you know, reading that book, what it brought up for me, anger and frustration and like, how am I going to get through this? It's coming up to be healed. So when all these triggers come up for you, be with them and know that they're here for the transition to take place.
Do you feel like you are stuck? You're not. Do you believe you are free? Not good enough.
Yes, that is.
This is going to be a good segue to your question too, because it has to do with belief systems.
You manifest that which you believe. If you believe you are stuck, therefore you shall be stuck.
If you believe that you're deprived, therefore you shall be deprived, right? Deprivation, right, comes from, it's not a mindset, it's a belief system.
That's all it is.
And it becomes a mindset. That's an interesting question. So in a multidimensional universe, and we can sort of end on this note, because this is one of our favorite things to talk about. We could do a whole 4 hours on this, but the multidimensional aspect of what we tap into, right? So when someone's channeling information, which dimension are they channeling from and to? So let's answer the question this way. In this vibration that we call Earth, in this vibrational reality at this particular time, when by time I mean the history that we learned, right, growing up through the biblical text and everything, from this timeline, she had 1 child. Is that a good way of putting it?
Very well said, Gaia.
I know,
Sarah.
it gets complicated.
Yes.
So 1 child in this timeline.
In this particular hair, in this particular vibration, 1 child, Sacha. But in others, 3. In others, 2. Do you understand? That is the quantum aspect of who you are.